Thank you very much. From the very onset, allow me to first of all indulge you in a brief moment of reflection as we, people of faith, ask for the strength of those families who have lost loved ones in burial, and for the communities that are healing and devastated, and the leaders of those countries who has a responsibility of rebuilding with limited resources, that they too be given the strength of leadership during these difficult times. I ask you to reflect in prayers. I thank you. My dear friends, we can look at life from many dimensions. Professor Thomas always asks a question when he addressed regional institutions and regional gatherings like these. Is the glass half full or half empty? It's an important question that we must address. I have deliberately allowed myself to follow the inspiration from my dear friend, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. And his inspirations are normally very long. So if I am very long this evening, it is only because of his inspiration. But allow me from the onset to thank the Secretary General, the Bureau, and the staff of the Secretariat for their enormous support and hard work during my tenure as chairman. But I wish not to reflect on my tenure as chairman, because the governance mechanism of CARICOM speak to a bureau. And I wish, therefore, to position my remarks within the context of that bureau. But I wish to remind us all that today we are meeting at a time when the world faced many challenges and crises, none of which originate from this region. The climate crisis did not originate from this region. The energy crisis did not originate from this region. The inequality crisis did not originate from this region. The crisis of indignity did not originate from this region. But this region faced and continue to face these challenges that we must confront. Sometimes we do not celebrate who we are, and we do not get the glamorous headlines across the world for the contributions we are making as a region and the difference we are making as a region. And we do not seek after those glamorous headlines. But I think if we do not correct the narrative that is sometimes used to define us, and the narrative that is used to set us in a certain frame, we'll be doing a continuous injustice to those before us, those who are with us, and those who will come in the future. And I wish to highlight some of these issues and position CARICOM and for the people of this region to be the judge as to the question that is consistently asked about the relevance of CARICOM, the importance of CARICOM, these questions can be easily put to rest. And I want to do so tonight with some examples. Today, all of us in this room, we face rising prices. And all of us, in a reflect action, point all our fingers to the government. But what about the system that is failing us globally? What about the fact that in the last, I'm not ever going to go back to COVID, because we spent 2 years redirecting resources for education, for infrastructure, for agriculture, for security, to fight COVID, to give our people an opportunity to live. We did this with resources from our budgets. We did this with very little international help. We did this with some strong friendship that those before us would have created for us that we must go back to. But we succeeded. How many headlines will speak to that crisis and how the leadership of the region navigated that crisis? As I speak to you today, in the last 6 months alone, we are importing inflation at a record level. The cost of shipping increasing by more than 1,000%, 800%. We did not cause that. We did not create the conflict around the world that is driving up the cost of shipping, but we are facing those challenges with the increased cost of shipping. The increased cost of energy. The countries that must now direct budgetary resources that should have gone to health care, but now to rebuild after burial. Where is the voices of the private sector and all those who profess immense love for the region in helping the leadership of the region to call upon the international community to support the redevelopment and to support the rebuilding of the economies that suffered even from this latest hurricane? Very few voices, but all fingers are pointed to the leadership and the governments. Without an acknowledgement of the challenges, we as leaders are not shying away from the challenges. Prime Minister Rowley convened a regional conference on security, acknowledging that we have a problem, but went beyond that, allowing the region to understand the source of the problem and the importance of addressing the source of the problem, and then developing a holistic approach in dealing with the revelation of the problem. But that aspect of the discourse becomes absent. Important aspect of the discourse, but it becomes absent. You know, what we fought for as a people and as a region is sometimes forgotten. First, we then had to fight for an identity. After we fought for dignity and identity, we then had to fight to ensure we had our own values and values were not imposed upon us, so that we can have our own value system. And now, as we fought these battles, we have to now fight to ensure we build systems that work for us and not systems that that are imposed upon us. We have to build systems that work for our region. And this requires the private sector, it requires government, it requires the academic community. We have to come together and build systems that work for us. We have to trust in ourselves. We have to have faith in each other. And we have to have hope about the future. Is the glass half full or half empty? Sir Clive Lloyd, an example that we can all take a page from. Leading not a cricket team, West Indies cricket team was not only fighting to win cricket matches, they were fighting for an identity. They were fighting for a culture. They were fighting for freedom. They were fighting for people. They were fighting against oppression. And we led that fight. West Indies cricket led that fight. This region led that fight. Make no mistake about it. On the issue of democracy, and I'm only going to go in the last 3 or 4 years because we forget these things. It's very easy to lump the entire system into a basket and then set the basket in a river. But on the issue of democracy, as chair of CARICOM, I sat with colleagues, SG and her team, for hours upon hours, days upon days. We went to Jamaica. Jamaica convened a special meeting, invited all stakeholders. Well, let's me backstep. In Guyana, we held a special breakfast with all international stakeholders in the region. Then we went to Jamaica. Jamaica, Belize, then invested money. Jamaica invested in training security personnel. And then we left our normal duties and sometimes spent 6, 7 hours in the night. What did we spend that time on? The people we love, the people of Haiti, to ensure that Haiti was returned along a path of democracy. And many media outlets in the region and extra-regionally call us all type of names. Tell us we are in all different pockets and we were sellout. Today, and I want to thank former Prime Minister Henry, because he was the part of the process of resigning himself and government. And today, we have a presidential council, a prime minister, and we remain strongly committed to the task of ensuring Haiti return to full normalcy, democracy, and governance. Make no mistake, this was no easy task. This was not accidental. This was hard work, sustained work, and commitment from this region. And we don't want to be applauded. We don't want to secure the headlines for this. But I want to put on the record today that the leadership of this region must be applauded, and I want Haiti to know. I want the people of Haiti to know. Never, ever, never, ever reduce the role CARICOM played in this situation. Never be led to believe that we were in any pockets. The only pocket we were in was the pocket of the people, for the love of the people, the freedom of the people, and the return of normalcy in Haiti. I want to thank Jamaica, Belize, St. Kitts, Barbados, St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada. I want to thank every single head, every single member of the CARICOM family that allowed us to achieve this significant moment in regional life. I say to the leadership of Haiti and the people of Haiti, we remain strongly committed to you, to our love for you, and our love for the people of Haiti. On that note, I want to recognize the eminent persons group who worked relentlessly, and to say to the leadership of Haiti openly, we have said it in meetings, we are prepared to support Haiti with this group continuing its work alongside you, in support of you, not to lead, in support of you. The eminent persons group remain a mechanism to help and support you on this journey to democracy and good governance. In my own country, also, in 2020, we were faced with tremendous threat to our democracy. CARICOM again turned up. CARICOM again, many leaders were called all kinds of things. In Parliament, in the news, and from all stakeholders. But they quietly stuck to their commitment for this region and for Guyana. And again, I thank them. Our security threat. It was easy for a big news agency to highlight the threat to our national security in Guyana. Prime Minister Rav Gonzalez, again, go to many of the headlines and see how this was characterized too. Convened a meeting among regional heads, brought together all sides, and we avoided disaster for this region. This is the region I'm talking about. Speaking about disaster and climate justice and climate change, there is no stronger voice on climate change than the voices of the leaders of this region, led by Prime Minister Motley. Enormous work on reforming the financial system. And not only for this region, for every single country, every sixth country, Prime Minister Motley is championing every single day the reform of the financial system to bring climate justice, not only to us, but to all those who are suffering. We don't hear about this. This small region, no louder voice on climate than Prime Minister Motley. This region, no other best practice on forestry, leading the charge on forestry, leading the charge on biodiversity, ensuring that we maintain our forests, lowest deforestation rate in the world. No other country, and we, a country that forms part of the CARICOM region, is providing this leadership. Do we hear about it? Do we celebrate it? Do we do case studies on this in the classes and universities? Or do we continuously look at the glass half empty? Sports. We just concluded a T20 World Cup. To host this, the governments invested millions of dollars to ensure that our people can have the best sporting event here too. No issues. Flawless. From our responsibility. I can't say from the ICC responsibility. I can speak from our responsibility. Not a single headline recognizing the investments. Trinidad and Tobago. Everybody can complain about the state of cricket. But the leaders were bold enough to call a conference specifically designed on cricket. Where are the headlines? Where are the headlines? Financial instruments. The partnership SG spoke of, expanding our reach with Afri-Exim Bank, with Africa, trying to build financial instruments, bringing in new investments. Where are the headlines on this? It's as if these things never occurred. It's as if these things never occurred. Afri-Exim Bank now having a permanent place in the region with a headquarters in Barbados. Or do we find them insignificant to recognize them? Or it does not fit the construct of the narrative to believe that these regions can be part of the solution, Prime Minister Ali. The choice is ours. We can be silent or we can work together. We can define ourselves or continue to allow ourselves to be defined. The choice is just ours. As he spoke about CARICOM, expanded interest. Interest in expanding through associate membership and interest in being a part of us from new areas around the world. Persons writing to be accredited, countries writing to be accredited. We must be doing something right. There must be some recognition of CARICOM and what we can offer. Energy security. And I saw Prime Minister Ali, you signed a new energy pact. I also saw Chevron getting to 2050. It's a reality. Look at all the headlines in the region. Two situations occurring at the same time. Examine the headlines. Justice. Do we trust ourselves? Do we trust ourselves to ensure that we can provide a justice among ourselves? The CCJ. Outstanding judgments from the CCJ. Tremendous work in improving the delivery of justice from the CCJ. It is time we boldly embrace our own ability to provide justice for ourselves and the people of this region. Transportation. Bold initiatives. Year after year, we are asking the private sector to come forward. Guyana, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and others decided that we can't wait anymore. We'll advance the cause. What happened? From the time we advance the cause, you hear some members in the private sector say, this is our responsibility. We agree it's your responsibility, but be bold, innovative, take the risk and invest in it so that we can end this problem in our region. Everything comes back to the government. You know, I'd be bold enough to say we can continue buying and selling and distributing, or we can start building our productive capacity and capability in the region. But to do so, we have to start supporting what we use in the region. How are we going to do it? We can't do it by talking. We have to do it by ensuring every stakeholder is on board. The distributors must not only see profit in bringing in stuff and selling, they must see the opportunity in innovation and product development to meet the needs of the region. And we believe in private sector growth. We believe in supporting the private sector. That is why we want the private sector to do it. We will create the enabling environment, the conducive environment. But that environment has to be utilized if we are to bring the benefit to our people. So my friends, in every category, sports, Jamaica is going to make us proud, as well as Trinidad and Tobago and many of the countries here at Olympics. But you know what? We will celebrate as a region, all our athletes. Put your hands together for athletes. And our athletes will rightfully secure the headlines across every newspaper, but not one line would recognize the investment that was made by governments to enable the performance of our athletes. Whether it's the High Performance Center in Jamaica, whether it's the stadium that you're investing in, Comrade Ralph, that's just the reality. That is just the reality. We have according to the CARICOM World Food Program Livelihood Survey, we have reduced our food insecurity by 17%. By 17% since we started in 2020. That's before Beryl. By 17%. Did we get the headline? Beryl came. The damage to the agricultural sector alone is more than $100 million US. And I'm not counting opportunity costs, because government now must reprioritize where they will spend the money. So guess what? Agriculture will have to take a cut. These are the realities. And as we confront these realities, we must all remember there are more challenges ahead. And as I welcome my brother, Prime Minister Mitchell, the challenges of AI, digitization, and robotics already confronting us. And our leaders are already thinking about it, because that will continue to widen the inequality gap between our competitors and our trading partners and us. But we have to confront these challenges. We have to find investment. Whilst we are doing this, our human assets that we are training are moving. Look at the condition of our nurses now. We invested in training our nurses. A lot of investment too. Where are our nurses going? Yes, we acknowledge that people must go for whatever opportunities you're taking might be better or is better from a profit and loss perspective. But what about compensating us for the training that we provide to fill the gaps that exist in other countries? These are real questions. These are questions that we must examine. We share an important geographic space. And in sharing this geographic space, our commitment to the rule of law, to democracy, to freedom must be unshakable. Unshakable. Our commitment to these three things must be unshakable. But our commitment to ensuring that the societies we build have safeguards that would disallow the type of weapons that are getting into our borders. Just as we have to build our borders and we're investing our borders, investing in our security system to ensure our borders reduce the negative impact on other borders. Whether it's the movement of drugs, we have to ensure we build stronger systems so that our borders are not used as tools to affect other borders and other countries. We have to fight the drug trade, fight transnational crime. And to do that, we have to invest in security. We have to invest in border protection. We have to invest in port security. We have to meet all international standards, and we are committed to doing so. But we must also ask for some more to be done on ensuring the guns that are coming into our system are not coming into our system. That requires investment and it requires special assistance as we deal with crime and criminality in our society. These are the questions that we'll confront as we gather. These are the questions that we'll seek solutions for. But we will do so with a commitment to the world that this region will always support peace, will always support justice, will always support freedom, and will always support the equitable development of all of humanity. I thank you and God bless you.